Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and the question on everybody's mind is, and I know I usually edit in something really clever now, didn't really have anything in mind, I just realized right this second that I'm opening the video that way. Oh well. So people want to know, will Rivals of Ixalan be good? And by good I assume they mean like popular, playable, powerful, and a bunch of other stuff that starts with P. Now remember, Ixalan sold like crap because it's one of the very last sets, it's the last set ever to have its mechanics and primary cards split between two sets. That was one of the dumbest design mistakes Wizards has ever made, ever. I mean, with Devotion, it works because it's just like, oh look, we added a card that's blue. Oh look, we changed a cost of a permanent. But with Tribals, it's dead on arrival. The second that it shows up, just, you know, pirates or whatever, Merfolk, Dinosaurs, they're all unplayable. Just completely unplayable, because if they went from, oh, one of the top decks in the world, and it came in the top 16, at least a couple positions at the Pro Tour, cool, we'll just say Merfolk. Okay, so Merfolk, yay. And then you release twice the number of Merfolk, the deck, by definition, mathematically cannot get worse. When you say adding cards to the pool, you can only either stay the same or get better. And if it gets even better when it goes from powerful to insanely overpowered, then it just dominates and nobody would play anything else. So what they do is they take a very, very aggressive, high-powered synergistic deck and then split it in two and cripple the first edition of it, which is the first part of the release. So that's why nobody's playing Ixalan anything, really. I mean, literally nothing from Ixalan. Maybe a card or two, but no mechanic, no central theme, nothing. And I mean, at a highly competitive level, people could play whatever the hell they want at FNM, and it's not like you could play an Ixalan deck and not do well with it. It's just you have a little bit less of a chance because half the power's not there. The card support isn't there, as I usually say. I mean, some people have got, you know, Revel and Rich's garbage that they're running. That deck is just degenerate, but whatever. Other than that, I can't name anything more popular. I mean, people are playing with Dinosaurs because they think they're cool, and everybody likes ramping up to powerful stuff. And by everybody, I mean, like, probably closer to 1 in 3 people. So what's actually popular? Well, based on the last couple tournaments, I mean, energy, obviously. Do I think the deck's unbeatable? No. Do I think it's a little bit too good and they need to ban something? Yes. I mean, remember, this wouldn't even be the first energy-based ban, because Marvel was an energy-based ban. That was based solely on the fact that you can generate too much energy too quickly, too easily. I think legitimately lazy people just show up to the tournaments. They're just like, I'm going to go to the Pro Tour, I'm going to go to the GP, I'm going to go to this large Star City Games tournament or whatever, and oh, what do I bring? Oh, well, I can either do research and ask pros and look at numbers and statistics and study every single card and come up with something on my own, or I can just play what everybody else is playing and probably stand an okay chance. People are lazy. Not everybody is a top tier level pro player. I mean, and even the allegedly top-tier pro players, they don't even build their own decks half the time. They just copy somebody else or have somebody on their, quote, team do it for them, basically. So that explains the overrepresentation of energy at the tournaments, because it's well over 50%. I mean, it's encroaching on 60, 70%. Actually, the Pro Tour, I think it was 64% or something like that. So we've got energy, which was, once again, unplayable garbage until Aether Revolt came out, and then it actually went from unplayable garbage to, oh my god, overpowered, which is hilarious. But hey, that's how it works sometimes. And just energy as a mechanic was just disastrous. I liked it. I like the design of it. I think it's clever. I think it adds a lot to the game. You don't just lean on mana, and it's not just all about mana for the 24th year in a row. You can do other things, and you have like a little side reserve of things to activate abilities with. I thought it was brilliant, but I also need to be able to stop it if I'm not playing it, and that's what apparently Mark Rosewater didn't get, because I heard he was responsible for the mechanic and, well, the set. All I want to do is take all the energy counters on somebody's, on a player, because they're attached to the player, and blow them all up. I mean, bare minimum, I want to steal them or, like, make them go away, just vaporize them, but I would love to, you know, feedback loop them with their own energy and deal damage equivalent to the number that I just removed. That's what I wanted. That is all I wanted. That's all anybody wanted. All we wanted was an answer. When you've got a hex-proof whenever you want it to be Hydra that gets bigger every turn, that doesn't really have an answer. I mean, it does, but it's so stupidly narrow, and then it's on color with counterspells if people are playing certain color mixes. So some cards in energy there is quite literally no answer to, and the fact that Solemnity is not good enough and it usually interferes with your own deck, no. So we got Pharaoh's Gift, God Pharaoh's Gift. I still didn't really look at that deck list. I don't really know what it does. I have no idea how it works. I know some people were playing, you know, mono black, mono white. Those were kind of cool. I think they involved a lot of tokens, a lot of like lifelink vampire stuff. It was probably like an anointed deck too, like anointed procession. A lot of people are playing like cats with that. So just black, white mix, you know, mono each, whatever. They're all kind of similar. They're usually just playing token dump and, you know, creature rush, life manipulation, that kind of stuff. And some people did some stuff with cycling because, you know, there's a lot of card support there for cycling. It's basically like you can just go through your deck one card at a time until you get exactly what you need. Any deck that can do that, it's going to be happy about it. And some of them are cycle trigger and some of them are just cycle so that you can always have what you need in your hand. Some of them are like revolt, mix, not too many of them though. And then we've got the archetype that is the most in need of a ban. I mean, besides just literally the card Scarab God. Mono red. Mono red needs to be crippled. It needs to be stopped. It needs to be gone because I can throw creatures in its way and that's usually how you stop any color rush. Oh, but none of my stuff can be blocked. Oh, and they get an extra combat step. And oh, now 2 creatures can't be blocked. Oh, now my creature can't block because they just destroyed it. They just swing, do something, swing, do something, swing, do something, and then win. I mean, it's just the most unfriendly, you can't play your deck degenerate crap that I've ever seen since Eldrazi was in Modern. It's just a disgrace to the game. Luckily, since it's so binary and low skill, like maybe 10-15% of people are playing it these days. It was a lot higher at the Pro Tour. It was probably closer to 35%, but I mean, it's lowering in popularity because it's so stoppable if you build your deck around stopping it, which you should not have to do. I mean, you can't just be, you know, under the impression that your opponent's always going to give you like 6 turns. No, like some decks are fast. It is what it is. But fast and very, very extremely narrow ways to stop it, that's a bad combination because then it's build red or build something that can stop red. That's it. Those are your only options. Oh, then the importance of the coin flip is disastrously important to red. So if they win the coin flip, they probably won the entire round, not just the game, the round. So that deck needs to go. But in general, that's an overview of the meta, the environment, whatever you want to call it. So now that we know that, we know what decks are popular, what's, you know, seen as the top most powerful, can anything in Rivals beat it? And since we know barely any cards from it, I mean, yeah, like the Immortal Sun would be pretty cool to put in a deck, but it would lose to Red Rush, that's for sure. I mean, with Red Rush, you can't play anything above 4 because you won't even get it out. I mean, it's just so oppressively stupid. Well, let's look at Pirates. Okay, so Pirates are big on treasure. They're like ramp, some synergies, some boosting. It's kind of like a weaker tribal, but the treasure mechanic is insane. With one of the cards that we've seen that relates to treasure, I mean, it's not exactly on color. I think they're going to get a boost. But anytime that it's like, oh, Eldrazi, is Eldrazi going to be good? Yes, they have Scions. You know, anytime the mechanic involves ramp, you can bring in cards like, oh, I'm going to do Eldrazi ramp with Rolling Thunder backup. Rolling Thunder is not an Eldrazi spell. It's what they used against the Eldrazi. I think some kind of Fire Mage used it in the storyline or something. I don't know. But, well, your deck doesn't have to match the lore, thank God. So you could put in something from the opposing, you know, mechanic or deck archetypes or whatever and just do something really wacky with it. In fact, anytime you generate boatloads of mana, you can do something pretty wacky with it. I mean, Nissa's out there as an X-based Planeswalker, and she's huge right now. Her price is going up a bit, too, by the way. So I think just based on treasure, and then treasure as a secondary, like, interaction with Revolt and expensive spells that you can actually realistically pay for in a reasonable amount of time, and then artifacts, like artifacts leaving the battlefield, number of artifacts on the battlefield, artifact cloning, you know, stuff like that. I think it has a lot going for it, but just as a tribal, just like if you were to pretend it was Merfolk instead, they really don't boost each other very well. I mean, some of them have like menace, and it's the weakest tribal as far as combat. But that's fine. I mean, would you rather have it be the strongest in combat and use treasures? That would win a couple tournaments. So then let's look at Merfolk. Okay, Merfolk are going to be a problem. I'm calling it right now. Even if 5% of people are playing Merfolk, the deck is a problem because the deck right now is a problem. So the deck's going to be an even worse problem because, like I said, it can only get more powerful or stay the same. Those are the only two options. I mean, first of all, Walk the Plank doesn't work on them. Secondly, nothing works on them because of the whole, oh, you have to pay 2 extra to target this. Oh, they have hexproof. I think that's a thing. I don't remember. I I mean, this is blue-green. Oh, you target them with anything, I draw a card. I just replace it. I mean, then you get the Silver Adept or Silver Gill Fin, whatever the hell. You cast it. Okay, now +1 the Merfolk count. Maybe it gets a counter, you know, the Metallic Mimic thing. Maybe it gets a boost. Maybe it gets both. Maybe it's unblockable. Maybe it's flying, you know, whatever. And then you draw a card. That alone, that card by itself is like a second-rate card for modern Merfolk. It's not in every deck, but it's in quite a bit of them. So it's just a slower version of Red Rush. It's, I'm swinging with creatures. You literally cannot block them with 20 Death Touchers if you had them on the field. If you counter swing, they're just going to hit you with some kind of stopping, bounce back to hand, pin down, whatever blue control crap. Maybe even River's Rebuke, although there's next to no ramp in that deck. And then if you try to destroy them, you can't target them. You got to pay extra to target them. They're running counter spells. They're running Heroic Intervention. You can't board wipe them because of the indestructible on some green spells. Just nothing stops them. I mean, nothing stops them right now. It's just, it's too damn slow to be competitive. So if they speed it up a little bit with stuff like Silvergill, I mean, add just that and you're up to, okay, maybe I could bring it to a GP. So I think they're going to get pretty nuts. I think that Merfolk are going to be a very major deck, and at the same time, they're going to be extremely, extremely annoying to play against. I am not looking forward to that at all. So my prediction still, I mean, I got to be realistic, not what I hope will happen, what I think will happen, and I think they'll be good. Now, will they compete with energy? I mean, a non-targetable Hydra is pretty rough, and a long tooth hitting you for that much damage that quick, that early, I don't know. I mean, it's not that control resistant. I've played control heavy decks against energy and just crushed them, just completely shut them down. And I think if they really needed to, they could run Kefnet's last and just steal the Long Tusk. So we'll have to see if it's a good match against energy, but everything else on the field is quite a bit slower except for Mono Red. And I think Mono Red would probably beat Merfolk, especially if it went first. If it went second, I think the control spells would catch up with them. So will Dinosaurs be good? Well, remember, the ramp on those colors can only get better. The, like, unbelievably overpoweredness of the high-end, you know, 5 and up cost Dinosaurs can only get worse. And I mean that literally, like I'm citing an example. The 12/12 Trampler that costs 2 mana. Yes, that's a real thing. I'm not making it up. Look it up. But this later, it costs like 12 mana. No, it doesn't. It costs 2 mana. Shut up. But what I think is really going to boost Dinosaurs is all the free casting. It's so early and it's so effective, and it's so optional because you're going to ramp anyway. But then if you throw in free casting as like a backup for the ramp, and then ramping as a backup for the free casting, you got 2 different ways to achieve the same thing, which is dropping out Dinosaurs that basically can't be stopped. And I played against one very optimized, very like developed, you know, they've been working on it type of Dino deck, and it was good. I mean, the cost reducers, there's 2 of them, white and red. And if you get like 2 of them on the field, they're basically mana dorks, but they're also pretty good. I think one of them's like a 0/4. So 2 color, 3 color Dinosaurs, it has just enough control install to stop things and then dump out stuff you can't deal with. Can't really cover the creatures very well. That's like asking it to do a little bit too much. But if you're dropping out, you know, tokens along with them and stuff, it's going to get real pretty quick. Plus, I think Enrage is a really good mechanic, so you either can't swing or you are going to swing, and then all you do is speed them up. But I think Champion of Ronus, the flip up the top card of your library during your end step, Revolt, and then put it into play, and then like one other card, like maybe Pyramid, maybe I might be thinking of another one too. Between those 3 free casters, even with Marvel gone, I think that people are definitely going to end up playing some kind of free cast Dinosaur thing. I just don't think it'll be very good. It's still slow. You still have to build up. You got to rely on other permanents on the field to get out some bigger stuff instead of just like blue-white control from back in the day. You know, it's just, oh, I'm going to counter all your spells, have everything fly, and I don't really need to try or do anything. Oh, look, I won. Like, you could just pick a card at random and cast it, and the deck just plays itself. It's just, oh, a bunch of flying crap you can't stop, and I've got a bunch of spells to stop you. How creative. Guys, there's a reason they banned Reflector Mage, and obviously it should not have been Reflector Mage. It should have been that stupid spell-canceling spirit thing. Oh yeah, Spell Queller. That should have been what they banned. And if you're like, no, Dicey, I always say that. Well, I said that about Emrakul, that they should have banned Marvel instead, and where'd that go? Oh, turned out I and literally everybody on the entire internet was correct. You ever wonder why Wizards of the Coast doesn't just hire the internet? Like, just as a whole, just hire us? I think they're doing that on Reddit and Tumblr, but that's just SJW Moron Centrals, which is where they get half their dumb ideas. I mean, Wizards is like your great uncle showing up to like Thanksgiving, and everybody knows he's going to say something stupid because that's his track record. And then he's like trying to put on like, oh no, I'm a proper person. I'm a proper big company who has a proper PR department and makes, you know, like $1 billion or however the hell much they make. We know how to manage our corporate image. And then like 2 drinks later, it's like, here's why communism would work in reality. It just had some bad luck over the last 50 years. It's like, oh, we need to be very careful about our company image because it's affecting card sales. And then 2 drinks later, oh, a gay person won the Pro Tour. Oh my God, let's throw a freaking parade. Oh, too bad he wasn't trans. Oh, that's Wizards. They are literally your crazy old uncle. Speaking of crazy old uncles, vampires, the 4th major tribal / mechanic / whatever, they're creatures that have tribal boosts. Some of them fly and they gain life. That's just always good. It's always been good. It's always going to be good. Black-white is already popular. People are playing mono-white vampires. They're playing token dump. The card support is there. Anointed is there. Other support cards are there. I mean, counter drop synergy off that stupid metallic mimic that should have been banned before it was even printed. That's there. So, I mean, the fact that it's already basically a tier 1 deck, tier 1.5 maybe, yeah, I think vampires are going to be really good. And see, that's one of the few ones now where I'm looking forward to it as like, oh, okay, you know, if you lose to vampire tribal, it's like, yeah, it's because they gained too much life. I couldn't keep up. I couldn't control the creature count and just, you know, okay, I lost that magic, whatever, you know? But it's not like Red Rush where it's like, wow, I almost got to play a damn card, or Merfolk where it's like, oh, I almost got to play a damn card. Okay, there's not that much control, but it's like, oh, I almost had a creature do something productive. Like, I almost got to block 1 time. Wow. I mean, when they design cards and mechanics, they need to think, how annoying and obnoxious and stupid is this going to be to lose to this crap? Like, how pissed off are people at F&M going to be? Because not the pro scene. Nobody gives a crap about the pro scene. Okay, 99.9% of players don't care, don't follow it, aren't going to go to the event. Nothing. They play at F&M or Kitchen Table. The end. And honestly, if it's Kitchen Table, they're probably playing with Return to Ravnica. So when you design a standard set, you know, have F&M in mind. Did you know that the F in F&M stands for fun? I completely made that up, but it sounds true, so pretend it is. That's because people go to F&M to have fun, unless they're tryhard net decking douchebag spike tards. Then they go there because, as Mark Rosewater put it, quote, they have something to prove. And I would elaborate on that maybe a little bit. They're shallow people where their entire self-esteem is based on their ability to win at a card game, and so they pay money to be better than everybody else. Thus why I don't like net deckers. Oh, and when they start losing, they cheat because they feel entitled to win because they spent more than you. And if they lose to you, you're going to hear about it for the next hour. But most people are not that net decker attitude. They go to have fun. It's an enjoyable hobby. If it wasn't, they'll stop showing up. Just look at what happened the couple times that Magic stopped being fun in the last 3 years. Very, very, very not coincidentally, every single one of those was caused by net decking douchebags copying some overpowered, unfun crap because winning is more important than building a community or anybody having fun. Absolutely ridiculous. Those people just need to get the hell out of Magic and stay out. If you got that stupid attitude, go to a GP or go play some bullshit esport like League of Legends if you think you're just that perfectionist and that perfect. So thank God something competitive and fair seeming and kind of fun, whether you win or lose with it, you know, or against it, I should say, vampires might take off. And by might, I mean it's probably the most likely. I mean, Merfolk is practically a shoo-in for some kind of degenerate overpowered crap. But basically, vampires, I think that would be my choice for the most just consistently predictable, yes, it's going to be good. And I have a feeling that the major mechanic for them is going to be removing counters, because then they could remove 1/1 counters, which would take care of Amon-Ket crap, and they'll be able to remove energy counters from players. Plus, moving counters between, like removing them and then having the option to add them to another creature or just removing them at all, if that was the mechanic, you could, you know, pile on 1 vampire and swing with it if they've got powerful stuff and you need to be more powerful, or you could kind of spread it out and flood them, or you could just not touch them at all and start messing with your opponent's counters. And vampires have been known to screw with counters. I mean, it's more like leeches and stuff, and like wizards and, you know, mages and that kind of stuff. But vampires have been known to do it a little bit. So that would be kind of cool if that one became popular. Honestly, I'd probably play some version of it. Obviously not some stupid net deck from a tournament, because I don't need to win. I need to have fun. And coming up with a deck that's powerful and playable and fun to play, that's kind of the fun too. In fact, I should just print a shirt that says, if you're not having fun, there's the door. But then I'd want to put an arrow on it, and you'd always have to sit facing the door. That wouldn't be very functional. So anyway, that is the very extended in-depth look at the release of Rivals, what I hope it will do, what I think it will do, and what I hope it won't do, and what I wish it wouldn't do. I mean, it's a Wizards product, it's in standard, and it's coming out. That means just by itself, you should be afraid. Just look at the past track record of like the last 12 sets to be released. You should be worried and concerned and like pre-pissed off without even really seeing anything from the set. Because this is Wizards we're talking about. A certain level of accurate prediction is possible. My only hope is that standard remains vaguely playable and that people can just build something very effective and good and fun and not go like 0-5 with it consistently. So in other words, not Dragons of Tarkir. Oh, by the way, fun fact for everybody who stayed this long in the video, Ajani's going to be in the next set. It's basically confirmed. Don't tell anybody. You didn't hear it from me. Spread the word to everybody. I'll see you guys next video.